further ado, let me introduce you to my friend, ski and chum, all-round good egg, Mr. Dominic Walters.
Oh, hi, Gary. Good to see you.
And you, sir. So the idea being is to give you a platform to talk about Paul Walters Associates and the products that you're doing. Through association, it helps people understand how hard we work as RDLC to get our suppliers the best possible products on the marketplace. You, sir, have been nothing but extraordinary, and how you have helped us, and the hundreds of thousands of pounds you've helped the businesses save through the last year or so. It's exemplary. So without further ado, may I ask, Dom, tell us about yourself. How have you been, and how's business been?
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Well, first of all, thank you for that. Yeah, and I've really enjoyed working with your pirates. They're a very forward-looking bunch. And yeah, the main thing that we do for them is this SPQ sales test. So when they're hiring internally, what you need to know is, regardless of how clever somebody comes across, how smart they are at interview, whether they're saying all the right things, when you put them into the job, how much drive and resilience, how much clarity and focus, and how much comfort are they actually going to put into the sales part of the job. And there's, unfortunately, as you would have seen, and as most people would have seen in recruitment, there are plenty of people who what you get on paper is not what you get in practice. So yeah, we've been busy. I have to say, a lot of the pirates have been hiring all the way through COVID, seeing opportunities where others are sitting on their hands. And a lot of people, actually, in the past couple of weeks, we've seen a real increase in people who haven't been hiring for a while, wanting to take advantage of the talent that's on the market. Yeah, busy.
Well, I think, traditionally, that you know my opinion about this, that I'm not a big fan of psychedelics, but the tests that you guys are doing have made such a monumental difference. If your results come back and say this guy is an over-preparer, that means lazy and doesn't get on the phone. You can read through this, and the fact is that your reports aren't purely based on a metric, an algorithm, a number. There's human intervention by some very clever people who actually read the data to actually assimilate it for you. So it's that mix of AI and professionals and behavioural science, and it's very, 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 very clever. Like Dean, obviously, is one of your biggest advocates and a massive fan of this. The reason why it's so prevalent at the moment, that there are lots of people available in the marketplace. Now, you would just instantly assume that everybody who's basically been let go is because they aren't the top performing billers and they aren't the good ones. However, there are lots of people who've been let go because they are relatively expensive. The idea is to work out if they're worth that money to you. And your test has absolutely nailed this on, so we can work out whether that person might be worth this with that track record, that background, and this set of results from SPQ. It does help. So we have seen lots of people hiring all the way through. So I'm guessing lockdown's been incredibly busy for you.
Yeah, you're right. And you're right about these experienced hires as well. It's unprecedented to have so many experienced people on the market, and there's lots of opportunity in that. There are some good people who've been let go for valid reasons. I was talking to a client who'd got a really good, we had a good SPQ as well. And the poor guy had been on a desk for cruise ship staff. It's not a lot you can do about that, is there? So, but you're right, the risk is higher. The risk is a lot higher as well. There are people who are available for a reason. They've been quite passive. And actually, when you start looking under the bonnet with the SPQ, you realise that will to go out and grow fresh business, it's not there. And they're just looking to get a job. And that's not the sort of person you want.
Do you want to talk about CSI? Because that's probably the next stage and iteration of this, and how that can help businesses.
Yeah, CSI is the sister test to SPQ. It's not just for salespeople. It looks at a separate area, but just like SPQ, it's far more interested in what people are going to do when they're at work, as opposed to just a general personality measurement, because it's not always a very good predictor of how people behave in the workplace. And so that's exactly what CSI does on a wider scale. It looks at how people are going to tick when they're working for you. It's basically a user manual. So it measures things like their likely level of urgency. Seem to remember when we measured you on that, Gary, you were off the charts. Fortunately, Dean is as well, so that's why you work well together. It measures how you like to interact with teams and other people, your learning style, how you react and your preferred sort of behavioural patterns under stress, your decision-making style. So it gives you a much clearer idea of the person that you're going to get and how they're going to operate and how best you can support them. It's team fit. Team fit. And I know that's an expression that's sort of used quite loosely and bandied around, but it is, this is a sort of comprehensive measurement of how well they're going to fit into the organisation. And if they are a bit different from you, that's not necessarily a problem. It's just being aware of it. If some people behave in a certain way, it can be misinterpreted for a lack of interest. Actually, they're just a bit different. And so it helps you to understand them better.
I would urge anyone who is looking to hire people, if you're looking to hire experienced people, you put the SPQ and CSI right at the front of the process. If you're looking at trainees, you just do the SPQ and you do it at the end of the process. Is there something that we can have as a little takeaway from one of the cleverest people I know, who can ski backwards and still film us? Very annoying.
Well, first of all, that's not true about the clever bit, but I think the not panicking. It sounds pretty obvious, but what I've noticed with your tribe, and I know that a lot of it comes from within the RDLC. It's remaining positive. It's not the end of the world. It really isn't. Everything is going to get back to normal. It might take a bit of time, but we just plow on, and we don't give up. We don't give ourselves a hard time when things aren't going as well as planned, but just stay positive and show the key thing that we measure in SPQ, the most important thing, a bit of resilience.
Yeah, brilliant. Continue to be brave, my friend. I will see you next week. And from all of us, thank you for everything that you've done for us last year. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And we look forward to seeing you and what you can do for us next year. So peace and love to the family, and have a great Christmas.
Thanks, Gary.
Cheers, buddy. See you soon.
Cheers.